Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. For those new here, my name is Nikki. I'm an author and editor. I post videos here on YouTube about editing, writing, reading and all the other things I love. Today we're here to do a writing tag, or an AuthorTube tag if you like. And the tag in question is the Story Idea Writing Tag. I can't think off the top of my head who created it, but when it comes to posting this video I will have a search around and try and find them so I can pop the details below for you. If I can't find them and you know who it is, do put that in a comment so I can credit them appropriately. Without any further ado, we will kick off. So question one is current story. What is your current story idea you're working on right now? That's actually a slightly difficult one because due to various work complications and things, I'm filming this a bit ahead of time. At the time I'm filming, I actually have about 4 different stories on the go. All of them are paranormal, some contemporary and some historical. I think 3 contemporary, 1 historical. Oh no, well, no, I lie. It's 2 contemporary, 1 historical and 1 set in the future. So there's almost a tiny sci-fi twist to it, although it's mainly paranormal. So those are the ones I'm working on now, but as I said, it's going to be a little while, a few months before this video actually gets posted probably, so that could all well change by then. But maybe I'll pop below in the comments if I have made any major changes, if there's something I'm working on that's not still part of those. 2. Spark of inspiration. Do your ideas begin with a character, plot, world building or something else entirely? This actually really depends on the story. Some stories for me are driven by the characters come into my head first, and others I get an idea for a plot and kind of the characters are built in around that. Definitely not world building, I'd say. It's either plot or characters, and it just varies from story to story. Brainstorm. How do you puzzle piece your story elements together? Do you start with the ending and make your way to the beginning, or vice versa? Generally I write in a linear motion, so I write from beginning to end. I'm not a big plotter, so I don't know absolutely everything that will happen in the story before I start writing, but I know how it will start, and I usually have an idea of roughly how I want it to end. And the fun is writing the middle bit, working out how I'm going to get my characters there. And occasionally the end does change marginally because of that, but not usually very much. 4. Keep or toss. How do you know when you want to keep or dump a story idea? I guess if it comes down to if I'm feeling it. I mean, if I'm working on it, I feel inspired for it, I kind of know where I'm going to go, so I end a writing session with a bit of an idea in my head about what's going to happen next when I next get a minute to pick up my pen or get to the keyboard. If I've had several days, or more particularly several weeks, where I don't feel inspired to write the story, I don't have any idea what's going to happen next, then I would put it aside. I wouldn't necessarily toss it completely, but I'd put it aside for the time being and work on something else, because there's no point in wasting time mulling over something that's not coming. You may as well get your inspiration back, work on another piece, and then you may find that the inspiration for the earlier piece returns and you can get back to it later. 5. Original idea. How much of your original idea for your story is actually used once everything's finished? For me, I'd say a fair bit. I usually have a pretty solid idea in my head. As I said, I'm not a plotter, so I don't know the whole thing, which is maybe a bit different, but certainly everything I imagine the story would be usually ends up in there. 6. Hide or share. Do you share your book ideas with friends or keep them a secret? I'd say I keep them a secret. I might share snippets here and there, and I've got 1 or 2 friends with whom I would talk in more detail and I'd feel happy to do that. But in general I'm a little bit secretive, at least until I've got the first draft out. Once I've got a full first draft and I kind of feel like it's my story, I've got it there, it's on paper, then I'll be happier to discuss it. 7. Dream. Have any of your book ideas originated with a dream or nightmare? Yes, definitely. In the Ragnarok Chronicles, one of my earliest works, under my Nikki J. Marcus pen name, that came from a dream initially, and a sort of a weird idea I had during the dream and that I was thinking about when I woke up. That's how that one started. So absolutely, definitely, dreams are a brilliant source of inspiration. 8. Doppelganger. Have you ever had an idea for a story but then seen a similar premise in a book, TV show, movie? Absolutely, and I think you'd be amazed if anyone said no to this question, because I mean obviously there's so much stuff out there. We've got hundreds and hundreds of years worth of stories from which to pick, and you can put a fresh twist on things, but I think those basic story plots, those archetypes, are always going to be roughly the same. and the idea is just to manage to put your own little twist on it to make it feel fresh. And absolutely, I mean, no one's read everything or seen everything, so the idea that someone could come up with the idea and someone else could come up with the same idea, like on the other side of the world, is totally believable. And I don't know that I've ever had a really strong idea. Generally, I've watched stuff and then had a spin-off idea, so putting my fresh take on something I've seen, rather than, I think, having an idea and then being disappointed because someone's got there before me. It's probably more the order that happens for me. Which I guess leads into our next question, actually, number 9, big screen inspiration. Have any of your favourite movies, TV shows sparked ideas for scenes? Definitely. Not necessarily just scenes, but even the whole story idea, and not just film and TV. I've been inspired. My little novella, Wish You Were Here, contemporary romance with a hint of paranormal in it, that was inspired by a musical called Next to Normal. And I can't really tell you why, because it would give away the story. But definitely that was inspired by that. One of the pieces I'm working on at the moment as I film this is actually inspired by a song sung by Andrea Bocelli on his Cieli di Toscana album. And I was listening to that song and I thought, hey, this would make a really great idea for a story. So definitely I get inspiration from a lot of places. Finally, question 10, nostalgia. What's the oldest first story idea you remember coming up with and writing down? In terms of original stories, so I won't count fan fiction in this, I did a novel based on the life of Robespierre, so set during the French Revolution, and that was the first major story I wrote that I finished an entire novel length. I think it was like 80,000 words or something piece. Nothing ever came of it. It's still sitting there. I've got a copy of it on my hard drive, and I'm still toying with the idea. I toy with it now and then of bringing it back to life, resuscitating it. I mean, the prose is awful. I mean, we're going back quite a few years when I wrote this, so it would need a complete overhaul, but the idea I still like the idea of the story, so it maybe will be something I'll come back to one day. So that was our tag. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to pop the questions below if you'd like to participate yourself, and I'll be back again very soon with another video for you. Bye for now, everyone.